this is definitely not the most exciting fish. I'm about to do some bullhead fishing. I know there's bullhead in here. Get my head on my shoulders straight here. Alright, just a little chunk of hot dog. And I'm not sure what size hook. Looks like about a 2/0. 3/4 ounce. We're not going to go out there real far. We don't really need to. That should have hit the bottom. Pretty easy. Turn our clicker on. Good. Get it set up in the rod holder here. Clicker's on. Now it's just a matter of waiting to see what happens. I didn't want to go with live bait because it seems every time I fish here, whether I fish on a bottom or with little jigs for crappie or anything, all I catch is northern. I mean, normally that's not a bad thing. I like catching northern. They're fun to catch. But they're not in season right now. So I thought, well, let's go on the bottom. It's been a while since you fished on the bottom around here. It's been a few years, but I caught a pretty decent black bullhead out of here. Probably 15, 18 inches long. But I put it back in. It's a little chilly right now. It's going to get up to about 50, 51, 50, something between 50 and 55, something, I guess. A little breezy out of the, what did it say? West, northwest. It's more out of the north right now. It's out of that way. The west is that way. But as you can hear, it's going to pick up and be breezy. So I thought until it warms up this afternoon, throw a line out here and just look at the van parked right here. I just sit there in the van and watch the big old float. These are brand new floats, new style I'm trying. Got brass inserts so the line slides right through real nice. They put the brass inserts on each end, but I'm telling you, when you're trying to thread braided line down through it, I found it's easier to thread mono up through, tie your braid on and pull it through, because if you're lucky, you can get your braid to drop straight through without hitting the other side. But I tried 3-4 times. I like the hell with it. So I just got some mono out and ran it through from the bottom and then tied on and pulled my braid through. There's got to be a simple way to do that. But, you know, maybe I guess you can't really put brass inserts the whole length. Well, you could, I guess. Or plastic. Make a plastic insert that goes all the way through it, so your line will slide all the way through, especially braid. It should be smoother than the inside. But I got it to work. So that's the end of that rant. These floats are a little different. They're more like a spongy, you know, like most of them are that hard white foam that's really buoyant, which I like too. I have a bunch of those also. But those are slotted for slip-ons. These are different. They're like a plastic coating. It is twice as big as This is a Cast King. I think it's a Raven. A Recon. Yeah, Cast King Recon reel. And believe it or not, that rod is from Temu. Purposely just to test it. It's a 9-foot medium heavy. Really good rod holders. That's alright, but I wanted so I could just look out the window and see it. So we're going to move it over here. And so it's actually right up here in front of us. So these new floats that I got are actually really neat. They're super light. They're squishy, like a pool noodle kind of foam. Plastic coated paint on the inside. The only thing I wish is that the brass inserts went all the way through, or at least some kind of plastic insert went all the way through. I think it would be better, but that's just my opinion. Just a little fish. That's not what we want. Straight, but nope, it rifle barreled right out there. There we go. That's what I want. Yeah, she sank right there. It's not real deep out there. Maybe 6 to 8. Probably more than that. 8 to maybe 8 to 10. Okay, let's get this get her set up in the rod holder here. There she is. Alright, turn off the reel. Clicks on. There we go. I can see all that from the van. That's what I want. Alright guys, sit this one out for a little while anyway. It's still pretty chilly yet. It's about 37, 38 degrees with the wind blowing, so it feels like it's about 32. here we go. We're going to sit this out. We may move a little bit up and down this, but not far. If they're in here, they're in here. This is just one huge flat that it goes out quite a ways before it starts to drop to any kind of depth. So, and I've already caught northern up on this flat, which is what I don't want to do. So that's why we're using a hot dog. We may change that up. I do have worms, but there again, the northern will hit the worms. And I don't really want to hook into anything too deep unless it's about it dying because it swallowed the bait. Northern's a little different. A lot of people come here to sport fish the northern, including me, and they're all hungry right now. We still may catch one. I don't know. If they like hot dogs, they'll eat it, But alright, well, you got enough of my rambling and pretty decent view of the lake here. What you see is the whole lake. It's just basically a huge farm pond. Well, if something happens, we'll be running back out here. Wind is picking up. So I think we're going to take it up and bring this in anyway. Off the weight. Yeah, that's a pretty grassy bottom too, so I don't understand. You'd think there'd be catfish out there somewhere. I mean, not catfish, but bullhead. I mean, I know there is, but maybe we need to move location. I do have the van running. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but it's just chilly enough where I gotta start it. But I basically wanted to check the bait, but now that I got out of in here, I'm debating whether I want to move to an area. I think I will, and if nothing else, we'll come back here. Well, I'm sure we're not going to be here too long. The wind is blowing the completely wrong direction. Well, not completely wrong, but wrong enough. But I have caught some pretty decent fish here before. The dock usually runs over here out, and you can usually fish that tree. So this might be a little tougher. I'm just going to kind of let it drift on over there a little bit. Can't keep any crappie under 10 inches here. Truthfully, I'm not sure I'd even keep a 10 today. I just want to fish. I'll probably throw back just about everything I catch. It drifted right up underneath that tree nice. Neighbors aren't liking me fishing here. I just heard a four-wheeler slow way down, like staring. And when I turned around to look, they sped off. I get it. This is a really good lake. But there's special regulations here, so the people that live around it watch it really well. The waves are making it sound windier than it really is. It's windy though, but it's not near as bad as what the waves are making it sound. I just threw it over there closer to it. Someone else was standing here not long ago doing the same thing by the looks. That four-wheeler's coming back, or that ATV. It's a side-by-side. That's okay, I'm legal. You just come and check me out. I got no quarrels. I got no fish. This is actually the first place that has possibilities to catch any, really. That's mainly the only reason why I stopped here. I'm on my way somewhere else. Or we are. But you never know, you might get lucky. The sun keeps popping in and out. Just a few too many clouds for the day. It needs to be mostly sunny, not mostly cloudy. Yeah, like that. See, I can see right to the bottom right now when the sun's out perfectly. Like it's a crystal clear stream. I can see my bait suspended there, the whole deal. So when it gets close like it is and there ain't nothing around it, there ain't no point in just letting it sit there. But when it's cloudy with the ripples, I can't see that, so I gotta bring it in closer and closer. Listen to me whining about Mother Nature. My God. Alright, we're gonna let that drip up underneath that tree a little bit. Sure, we won't be here long. Right over there, I'd like to be on that part where it drops in, right off that ridge where it I bet that's pretty deep right over there. That would be a good spot to be. It's still pretty cold in the water, so it's not likely they're going to be moving up anywhere close by yet. I have caught bluegill shoreline fishing already, but just one. Most everything I've caught so far is northern, up looking for bait fish. I haven't caught any bait fish, oddly enough. I have seen some perch, but they were tiny fingerlings, little. Yeah, this tree is either hit or miss, even when it's good fishing season, because a lot of people think the same thing. Oh, I'm gonna go check the tree, and then they fish it out, and anything that moves up in there to spawn is fished out early. Pretty soon the docks will go out, and once the docks go out, everybody will start shoreline fishing like I am. I prefer not to have a dock, because then you can get out here where there's, when most people don't. Somebody must be doing yard work or something over there. Sheesh. Alright, a couple more, and then we're out of here. It's kind of tranquil listening to this waves roll in, but that's all it really is. Kind of a nice view here. This lake isn't really polluted with a lot of houses, but enough. It's pretty much landlocked. You can't fish it anywhere else on shore other than right here. There's no roads that drive right alongside it or anything like that that I'm aware of, other than this one that we're on. But this early in the year, I just kind of bounce around the boat docks, and if I don't get any nibbles or bites or anything, that even see anything, I don't go walking shorelines too much, because it's pretty much the same everywhere. Try to stay in the rivers this early. Yeah, I'm going to be near one. In a different part of the country. Alright, we didn't even get a nibble here, so we're in prime location. Alright, we're going to try out a new lake. Let's check out the rigs here real quick. Largemouth, smallmouth, 14 to 20, got to put back. Okay, anything under 20 we put back. And crappie, 10 inches. I'm probably not going to keep anything that's under 10 inches, so no problem there. We're going to sneak it quietly. I'm keeping on the trout magnet at about 18 inches from the float. I already like what I see, although I wish the dock was out. It would make it a lot easier to get out there. But the only thing I think I might have to do is lower my float. But let's try it the way it is first. See what happens. It looks pretty shallow out there. But you never know. I swung by here the other day, and there was a DNR truck in the parking lot. So I did a lap around the parking lot, and by the time I got down to the boat dock here, they were coming up to unload. Now I don't know what they were doing out here. Could be anything, but I just went around the corner to a different lake. That, oddly enough, I stopped at just a minute ago, and someone was there putting out a pontoon, but standing on the pontoon on his phone, so it looked like he was having trouble, and, you know, hey honey, what are you doing kind of thing. I need help. So I don't know what was going on there. So I think that's a turtle right there in front of me. I gotta get, oh, it was a stick. I thought it was a turtle head sticking up, but it was one of those sticking up. Not this particular one. I hooked this one behind me. Alright, well, this might be even shallower than I think it is. We'll give it a minute or two. I mean, we're here. Why not? There's a huge flock of duck right there. That black object you see out past that stump, that's birds. If you keep watching it, it'll move. There's more and more joining it as I've been standing here. They're all coming from the grass areas up back there. They're all kind of waddling out of them and just kind of almost look like they're coming this way. But more and more are way back toward the grass yet. Some are actually taken up and skipping across the top of the water by flight. Oh yeah. Here comes a bunch more. Maybe they think I'm going to feed them. I don't know. I'm going to lower this float if I can, while you guys sit and watch the ducks swarm around. Trying not to put my arm in the way. Oh, luckily I got the stoppers out. I didn't think I could get the stoppers out. Alright, let's go a little lower. Yeah, let's try like that, I guess. That should work. Oops, I pushed that one in a little hard. Well, I guess I have to now. What do we got? About a foot now? Let's see how that goes. She's pretty shallow here. Oh man, look at all those ducks. That's crazy. Kind of a crappy cast. Now they go a little late. I was watching the ducks. Try that again. There we go. That was a little better. At least we got loft out of that one. If I knew it would be worth putting on my chest waders, I'd put them on and walk out there. I bet I could get halfway across to where those ducks are. It's not deep, I can see that. But if the dang sun would stay out, this would be prime location for fish to swarm around up here. Sorry for all the rearranging noise here. For some reason my camera mount keeps sliding around. I think it happens when I cast, to tell you the truth. Eventually it just keeps working its way around and around and around. Involuntary muscle movement or whatever. Well, we'll give this a little while longer, and hopefully that poor guy was over there, hopefully he was just chatting and waiting to get off the phone and then put his boat out. Hopefully he wasn't having trouble. It looked like he was by himself. I sat there for at least 20 minutes with the motor off, indicating that I was going to be there a while. And he didn't look like he was going to come toward me or didn't give me any clue that he needed help. He was just on the phone. Whoa. Another little flock come over to join. There goes another one. Wait, guys, we're coming. Huh. That's a big, giant group of them. Well, this is ridiculous. We're not catching a dang thing. We're not even getting bites or nibbles or nothing. Which blows my mind here. There, that's right out in front of the dang cattails now. Let's see what happens. I'm going to guess more of the same. But that wind just died right out right here. It's really too bad. I almost want to put my chest waders on. But man, to do all that and then go out there and stand in that cold water. Mine are not insulated at all. You dress warm and then put them over and hope that what you have on is warm enough, because there's not a whole lot of room to put too many clothes on. Good warm socks. I usually wear warm socks, insulated sweatpants, and a long sleeve regular sweatshirt and a hooded sweatshirt. And then if I need to, I'll wear a rain jacket over that. But I put that on after I put the hip waders on, so the rain jacket is on the outside of everything. I don't have any suspenders or anything on the outside of the raincoat, so they stay dry also. As most people would. My rain jacket is actually big enough so I can wear my, well, I call it a stream vest, stream fishing vest, but usually they're trout vests, you know, people that fly fish. I use one of those when I'm using spinners and all that. I'll put that on and then put my raincoat on because it's big enough to put over top of all that too. That way all that gear and everything stays dry. When you put it back in your vehicle, nothing is soaking wet. I think this place is a bust. Why am I not surprised? We either catch northerns or we catch nothing. Well, we could swing back around to that other one where the guy on the phone. There's nothing here. There's nothing here, that's for sure. I mean, there isn't a thing out there that wouldn't hit that. From crappie to panfish to bass to northern. Even a catfish would probably hit that. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the scenery because that's about all we're having today. Alright, I'm done playing. We drove around half the dang day. It's past 3 o'clock now. Just past, but the winds have now shifted and they're from the west, which is the perfect opportunity to be here where we started this morning. So we could have just stayed here, but I thought, well, you know, while the wind is wrong, let's try a few other places. But anyway, we got on a worm, a night crawler. Ooh, let me get it over here. A night crawler and a little bit of hot dog right at the very end there, just to kind of hold everything together. I got the night crawler for scent, but let's get her out there and see how she does. Oh shoot, hold on, this is a lot heavier. I better tighten this up. Let's try that. Got a little extra weight on there with that worm. That was nice. You don't really need to go out there a whole long way. Now the only problem with this, unfortunately, is we're going to get northerns too. Because northerns will hit worms. Alright, I'm done playing. We drove around half the dang day. It's past 3 o'clock now. Just past, but the winds have now shifted and they're from the west, which is the perfect opportunity to be here where we started this morning. So we could have just stayed here, but I thought, well, you know, while the wind is wrong, let's try a few other places. But anyway, we got on a worm, a night crawler. Ooh, let me get it over here. A night crawler and a little bit of hot dog right at the very end there, just to kind of hold everything together. I got the night crawler for scent, but let's get her out there and see how she does. Oh shoot, hold on, this is a lot heavier. I better tighten this up. Let's try that. Got a little extra weight on there with that worm. That was nice. Alright, let's take a peek at this thing. It's been sitting out here a while. I've been editing and doing a bunch of other things because it's like 5 o'clock. And I put it out there a little after 3, like 3:30ish, a little before 3:30. So let's pull it in. I mean, it's got a night crawler on it, for goodness sake. A northern should at least hit it by now. I don't know what the deal is. Oh, bait was in the bottom. Okay. Either that or we hooked that coming in. But it might have been sitting in the bottom all the time. Maybe. But we had some weeds all over it. We'll clean them off and move it over just a tad then. Because I usually don't hit weeds out there. There we go. All the weeds are off. This I do. But usually 18 to 20 inches is a good spot. Nope. Alright, let's put her back out there for a couple more hours if need be. It's about 5-ish now. The winds are supposed to really diminish. I mean, to the point of like even calmer than what you're looking at now. So we leave it out there for a while. Maybe the scent will do its thing. There we go. Well, I don't know, but my camera just shut off for some reason, but I was looking at it. There's something over here in these cattails splashing around. But I have yet to see it. I keep hearing it splashing around now and then. But again, I have no idea why my camera shut off. But figures. I've just been standing here watching these perch swim back and forth and back and forth. If you stand still, even me moving around my shadow makes them spook. But if you stand still, some of the bigger ones actually move up closer and closer. They're a little bit bigger than fingerling. They're getting up around 4 to 5 inches long. But that's when there's absolutely no wind and I can see with these brand new crystal clear polarized fishing glasses. There goes a couple of geese coming right at us. Kinda. Not everybody gets to see that every day. I don't know how much of it you got to see, but I got a back crank twisting. Trying to get those geese in the frame. Our peaceful, quiet evening is interrupted by a flyover, of course. We have an airport close by, but I doubt that plane is even going to or is from it. It just happens to be particularly low. There's actually 2 airports close by. That one's up a little high to be from either one. automobile coming down the road behind me. I'm going to have to step a little closer to the lake here. Most people slow way down anyway. But like them, it's usually people that live around the area and they expect people to be here. Most of summer there's always somebody here fishing. Not too many early birds like me, but we're out there. As soon as the ice is off the lakes, we're out there. I don't really ice fish much. Never really did it. Got really much into that. I mean, nothing against it. Just, I don't know, sitting in a kind of a cool room. You don't really see anything. You're just staring in a hole. Watching the tip of your rod now and then, or at least talking to somebody. That happens, but still. Yeah, it's just not for me. Even though the early spring bite like this is no different than sitting on the ice when they're not active. It's the same deal. But this is a little more scenic. It's nicer out. Here comes a bunch of little ones again. I'm going to stand still right here. See how close they can get to me now. It's like they're coming up to my shadow. Here, maybe you can see them. Oh, I just moved, so they just spooked away. I'll give them a second to get back in position. You can probably see them swarming around my shadow, maybe. I don't know if you can see into the water as good as I can. Oh, kind of swimming away now. Boy, it'd be nice if that float went down because I wasn't paying attention, but yeah, that didn't happen. Yeah. I mean, every fish in the world that I know of will eat a nightcrawler. So there should be something at least nibbling on it out there. Especially when I'm seeing perch just cruising by me. Be patient, little one. I can see the piling up of weeds out there, though. Maybe I need to come on one side or the other of it. I'm going to walk the shoreline real quick. Okay, we're obviously going to keep having problems with the camera, so I'm going to say this quickly. We now have a 28-inch lead from sinker to bait because all the weeds that were from the winter have collapsed. They're a big pile. I can see them right here in front of me. And I'm casting almost right into them. And I only had like a 15 to 18-inch lead. And I've been here for a while, a couple hours, and not even a nibble. And I couldn't figure out why. But once the wind calmed down, and I can actually see in the water with these polarized glasses, I realized that my bait was down in those weeds all that time. so I had to lift the hook up further, and I know it's 28 inches because my draw length per archery is 28, so I just took the weight, put it in my fingers, and I pulled back with the string, put the tip of this, my thumb, right into the corner of my mouth, which is what I do when I draw archery. I use my fingers. So it was somewhere between 28 and 38 inch, or 28 and 30 inch lead right now. That should put me at least to the top of the weeds, if not just over the top of the weeds is what I really want. So we'll let this sit for a while, and if that doesn't work, then I will do that. I'll bring it up even a little bit higher and see if that helps, because I got a worm on there, man. I mean, come on. A dead fish will find a worm, for fuck's sake. But anyway, we're gonna go and sit and watch this for a while and see what happens. The winds are supposed to diminish big time now. We're going to drop right off to like 6 miles an hour, which is nothing here, as you can see. It's really flat calm here almost, and pretty soon it will be. So yeah, I'm going to go sit in the van for a while, have a snack and something to drink, and see what happens. Well, something told me to move, so I did. You can still hear the van running. I'm letting it warm up, actually. Got a little chilly because we were over there in that shade. The van was sitting in the shade. I was like, brr. So we weren't having any luck anyway, and I thought, well, what the hell? Let's just go down a little bit and sit in the sun and finish off the day down there at a different area. Now, I lost the hot dog, which I thought, well, what the hell? Let's just go without it then. So we're trying a different area with no hot dog, with just the scent of the worm. The worm is still actually alive, which even surprised me a little bit. It's wiggling plenty. But yeah, like I said, I don't know about the weeds. The weeds are tall down there. And I did bring my bait up the line to about 28-30 inches or so. So I think I'm above it, the weed line. Okay, got her set up in there. I think the clicker's on. Yep. And she's in a good spot out there. All we got to do is sit and wait it out. I'm just going to let that van run a little bit and get warmed up, and I'll be in that too. And we'll come back out here if something happens. Well, evidently I got myself overly excited. I was sitting in the truck, and I was just saying, look at all these little things that look like little fish coming to the top. And all of a sudden my bobber just went boom boom. And I had this camera off, my chest mount, and I was putting my other mount on because my camera is almost, my phone is almost fully charged there. See that right there, right next to the bobber. I think that's what happened. Whatever those are, did it right next to my bobber, and it made it look like my bobber moved. So anyway, I had to switch mounts real quick and get all this camera gear back on because I thought my bobber moved, and I was like, shit, it just took it all off. Yeah, I think that's what happened, because see, they're just all around it. Whatever those things are, they're not getting close enough to the shoreline here so I can see it. But yeah. So I jumped the gun. I'm out here a little early, but yeah, as you can now see, it's getting more and more calm. It's getting cooler too, much cooler. Yeah, we moved. We were actually parked where that shade is, and it got way too cold in the van. I had to start the van and run it for a while, and I thought, well, if I'm going to run it, let's move. And I moved down here into the sun and let the sun and the heater warm it up inside. It's been 70 inside now. sitting out here a little while. It's just a worm. I took the little chunk of hot dog off of it for extra pleasure, and I thought, well, let's just leave the worm and see if maybe the little ones will nibble at it. And nothing. I have seen nothing happen. So what I'm thinking of doing, well, actually I was going to wait a little bit while longer while the phone was, until it got fully charged so I can put that on. That was a whole ordeal. Was I was changing chest mounts so I can use my phone instead of my camera, because my cameras have been acting up lately. I don't know what the deal is with them. Oh, whoop, whoop, whoop. Now that one might have been movement. I don't know. The orange has to come up and the green has to go down on the float. So it should be pretty easy. I can see it clear as day with these glasses, and it's just laying on its side right now like it's supposed to. But anyway, where was I? I don't know. I don't even know what I was talking about now. Oh, I was planning on changing camera mounts, or I was in the middle of changing camera mounts, waiting for my phone to charge, which is almost there. And I was going to come out, pull this reel, and get out my panfish reel with the crappie magnets on it and stuff. There's all kinds of little tiny perch and stuff swimming right here in front of me. I mean, thousands. And there's got to be bigger ones. I've caught bigger in here. So, you know, maybe they're up moving around too. Nothing is going after that worm. It's been out there 30 to 35 minutes. So I'm actually going to pull it now instead of waiting for the phone to fully charge and then pull it. Look at them all. Let's see if I can do this without them spooking. Right on the shadow line. If you look just above the shadow line, you'll see them swimming by. Those are little perch. Just thousands going by in a line. They're all the way out. I don't know how far out you can see, but it's a thick band from here, you know, right here in front where I told you to look, all the way out. I can see a whole thick band of, oh, did you see that? They saw my hand move, and they just, and they all scattered everywhere. But that's why I'm surprised not even a northern is hitting that worm. There's got to be a northern out there chasing these little suckers around. I'm sure of it. You know, I know if I put a perch bait on and used it, I would surely catch a northern. But not allowed to do that right now. So, back to my statement here. I think what I'm going to do is pull that right now, and there's a turtle. Get out the ultralight. Well, it's not an ultralight, but the lighter rig. There he goes. He just went under. That was a turtle right there. I tried not to move because he was staring right at me. Alright, we're not going to get a lot of... Let me gather my stuff here real quick so I don't forget it. There we go. I switched rods. I had catfish stuff on for bullhead for quite a while, like most of the day, on and off. I've been coming back and forth to this lake. But you see what's going on here now? There's a bunch of things surfacing, and throughout the day, standing up along the shoreline, just standing still looking around, a bunch of little perch have been swimming back and forth through here. So I thought, what the hell, let's put on a trout magnet, see if there's any little bigger ones out there. The only problem we're going to have is we may hook up on a northern, because they're probably up here chasing some of these little perch around because they're hungry, I'm sure of that. So we may lose our line here, but we're going for the bigger perch. And this will be a good way to close out my day. It's coming up on 7 o'clock now in the evening. I have caught nothing all day wherever I've been. Different places here and there. Here mostly. I started here in the morning, and by 3:30 I was back here throwing different, well, not different stuff, but throwing different areas for bullhead. This is the 1/64th ounce, so no matter what hits it, we're going to see something. That's most of it's me, so every time you see it do that boom boom, I'm just giving it a little jerk forward. I'm sure you'll probably know the difference. When you get a hit, it pulls it down. Well, that's just pulling it across. That does happen sometimes. If it's a smaller fish, it'll pull it across, but usually away, one way or the other, or back away from you. There's like nothing following that. That's crazy. You'd think even those little perch would go after something like that. I'm running probably just about 18 inches. My swivel, which is just underneath that float, is 18 inches from my hook, so I got a pretty decent 18-inch lead. You don't really have to jerk it too much because it's such a light bait that even just give it one full reel just to get that bobber to go fast enough to bring that bait up, that goes down really slow because it's such a light bait. Like that right there, that brought the bait up 6 inches, and then it just goes down really slow because it's such a light bait, and that's when you're going to get your hit. Boom, boom. So you cover a lot of water fast. You know, you don't have to move it a little bit and sit and wait, move it a little bit, sit and wait. I mean, you can do that too if you want to, if you know they're in there, if you just want to wait it out. But keep throwing in there. Move it about 6-8 inches, let it stop. Most times the only time I let it sit for a good long time is right after I cast, because I want everything to settle. Kind of like when you're frogging. Lake is pretty calm yet. I was just giving you guys a glance around. Hoping the camera's still recording. They've been acting a little crazy lately, especially this one, which is my best one. I can do zoom, I can do a lot with this camera. for a chest mount camera, like a GoPro deal. But for some reason, I did just change the battery though, so I'm hoping that helps. Yeah, there's nothing following this whatsoever. Not even those little tiny perch. Of course, I ain't seeing any of them around here in a while either. My bet's, if it goes down hard, it's going to be a northern. I think we're going to have a speed demon coming here in a minute. Sounds like somebody's really coming down the road. Hopefully they'll slow down when they see me. Most times they do. Oh yeah, here he comes. With his big badass brand new Dodge. Oh yeah, he's slowed down. Nice truck though. Not a couple days, no.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a couple northern I got out of here.
Oh, yeah?
But that's about it, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
A bunch of minnow surfaces there.
Yeah, there's perch all through here. Bunch of perch, fingerlings, perch all running through here. So pretty soon the northern will be moving up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Any big bluegills out here ever?
I haven't seen a bluegill in probably a year or two.
Oh, really?
And bass probably 5 or more years. Yeah, it's been froze out pretty hard for a while.
Okay. Alright, well, good luck.
Yeah, it may be all it needs now.
Yeah.
That was a nice Dodge. I didn't want to turn too far and get him on camera. Most people are pretty shy about that. Sounds like more traffic coming. A little quieter of a vehicle. Yep, this is more traffic coming. I suppose people are getting out of work, going home. It's around that time. I don't know, they holler something. Who the hell knows? Probably wanted their YouTube debut, I don't know. You know, oddly enough, most people you meet, or not meet, but bump into when you have your camera, shy away from you. Most people don't want nothing to do with it. If you're hiking a trail and they're oncoming people, they'll look down or look away, give you every impression they don't want anything to do with being on that camera. I respect that though. I prefer that, because that way I don't have stuff on camera that I gotta edit out later. Not to be rude, but it just makes that process a lot easier. Most times if people stop me and start talking, I shut the camera off and start a whole new clip. Ugh. I don't know what those things are coming to the top. It's got to be those little minnows out there bouncing around. Another vehicle. Jeez, coming this way this time. Looks like a little blazer. Yep. Trains people to slow down around here, that's all. They don't need to go 45 miles an hour across this road. Pretty soon it'll be nothing but washout bumps. Or washboard bumps, I mean, washout. Basically the same idea, they wash your ass right off the road. This is completely crazy. Not looking good. Not looking good at all. Yeah, I don't even see anything swimming around anymore. Not since them guys were here in the truck talking to me. I thought for sure this would be the best way to close out the video, is catch a few, something little. I mean, you can't get any smaller than a 64th ounce trout bait. Well, you can, but they're not even nibbling at this, so what's the point? Yeah, I don't know if you guys seen it or not, but straight across where the taller trees are, straight across exactly from me. But it's probably too far for you guys, but you might have seen that sun glistening off something shiny. There's a little access road back there. Guy owns some property, and once a year, usually right around Memorial Day. Yeah, Memorial Day's first, Labor Day's last, right? Usually right around Memorial Day, he has a bunch of family members coming. There's a bunch of tents and some pull-behind campers, and they all stay up here. They've been doing that a few years now. It's kind of cool. They'll be out here on boats, water skiing and tube skiing and whatever else. Never affects the fishing because the fishing has sucked here for quite a while. So it's actually entertainment while you're catching nothing for a while. Hearing kids laughing and having fun. It's kind of cool. Oh, look at that. Right next to the float. How did they not see it? Dangling. Just below it, man. Come on. It's bright green and pink. Really? Of course, whatever's doing all those surfacing, I wouldn't want to be hitting my bait anyway. Probably ain't even big enough to hit it. But normally, wherever there's little perch, there's big perch. So that's why I threw it on, thinking, let's get them to play around with it. And usually that draws the rest of the army, you know. Attack. Food. They can't seem to finish it all. Let's go get some. One of them will bite the hook. Nothing doing here, though. Quite interesting to me. I mean, I've given you guys all the answers. It's been fished out a lot, been froze out at least once hard 3 years ago. Yeah. The dominant fish here is northern pike. So this is a survival pond, survival lake. If you're fishing here, it's all about survival. You swim around all day going, what's behind me? What's behind me? It's gonna be a northern, anything from 6 inches long to 26 inches long. All in here. It'd be a fun lake if you had a bass boat with a trolling motor. If you just want, a flat deck, like an old bass tracker. You just wanted to bop around all day the edges of this, seeing if you can catch some nice pike, which you will. You'd have a ball, actually. You won't believe the amount of pike that are in this lake. And if you just took your time and casting it to the shoreline, like you're trying to fish muskies, you get back in there. Nobody's ever fished back there. Nobody gets back there except for boaters. And it's rare to see boat people on here fishing. Most people that put boats on this lake to fish are fishing for crappie. Very rarely are they out here to fish the northern. They hate the northern. They want the crappie. So if you like a good fighting fish and don't mind losing $100 worth of lures in a day, yeah, it's a fun place. It used to be really, really good for bass. Man, like I was telling those guys, it's been like 5 years since I caught a good bass out of here. Every now and then, if you're lucky, you might get a 3/4 pounder out of here that's kind of survived everything and is now big enough to get away from the northern that'll chase it down. But yeah, it's rare. Same with the sunnies, like these guys are asking. They know this lake. Hey, catching any sunnies? No. That's what everybody wants to come here for. It used to be the hottest spot around for that. It used to be really good. What I'm doing right now, you'd already have a bucket full. The amount of time I've been talking. Easily. Of various sizes, of course. I'm not saying all eaters. I'm just saying that many. You would have thrown back probably more than half of them, of course. More traffic. Jeez. Oh, this is the guy that was just down that road. Yeah. I think he lives... Yeah, I've seen that truck up the road further. And one of the houses up that road. He might stop and ask me how things are going. So get ready for that. But maybe not because of the camera.
Shallows yet or not?
No, the only thing I've seen so far are little fingerling perch going back and forth.
Yeah. Well, that's a good sign.
Well, yeah, at least there's that. Yeah.
They're moving into the...
Right. The other day I had little crappie minnows on the little crappie tubes up there.
Yeah.
I don't want to get you on camera, sorry. Up there, and two good side northern. One of them was like 25 inch. You know,
Some really good northerns out here.
oh, I've caught, my biggest out of here is 28.
Yeah.
And that was on the around the corner, closer to your property. I think that was you that was just back there.
That's our property over on that.
Yeah. But you know, once it grows thick, it's hard.
We always used to catch crappies right about here. About this time of year, they move about dark. They
Yep.
start moving into the. There are crappies in here, so they're going to start spawning sooner or later here. But,
Yep. I haven't seen any yet, and you can tell that I'm looking for them.
yeah. Oh yeah. It look like there's some stuff surfacing out there. But
Yeah, I don't know what those are. It might be those little perch. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, sooner or later they'll start moving in.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see anything from our side.
Good old boy. That's the first time I've actually talked to him long enough to say more than hi, how are you, how's the fishing, and da-da-da. You know, we recognize it. Maybe that's why he's recognized me being down here a lot. So we figured we'd chat. Fish information. That's good that he shares that there's crappie in here still. I kind of knew there were, but yeah. We're going for any kind of panfish right now, to tell you the truth. But he's right, it won't be long. They usually come up first. Right around this area. Let's try this direction for a second or two. What the hell? Because this right here is a whole lot better than sitting and scrolling on a computer or your phone or even watching TV. Does anybody even watch TV anymore? I mean, real TV. You know, the kind of TV that the channels that the news are on. Are there any good sitcoms anymore to watch? Huh. I don't know. I mean, I watch ATV, a thing called a TV. I watch, it's a television. I watch it, but I don't watch, local broadcasting at all whatsoever. It's all YouTube stuff, usually. Mostly. You can almost say that's all I watch, because that pretty much is it. I used to watch Netflix, but I don't even subscribe to them anymore. But every once in a while, I'll go to like one of them, like Hulu or Cracker or Crackle or whatever the hell they're called. Every once in a while, I'll go into one of those free movie just for something to do. Sometimes it's my background noise. And believe it or not, it's usually a movie that I've seen before, because it's literally all I want is background noise. And a movie like that is perfect, because you only gets your attention on the parts that you want to watch. Oh, this is a good scene. So you'll might sit, but you'll watch it. And maybe it might draw you in for a minute, but you're still going to go, oh yeah, I was doing something, and not be afraid to get up and go do something, because you've already seen the movie before. So it's kind of a perfect strategy. You really only watch the parts that are cool, or the ones that you liked. So I do that a lot. A lot of late 80s, early 90s action flicks, especially Stallone, Rambo, those kind of movies. Yeah, throw those on. Action, violence, crazy crap like that. Wesley Snipes, he's another good one. Come on, crappie. Wow. Whatever that is surfacing, they're getting closer and closer to shoreline, so maybe I'll see one now and then. But they're not getting anywhere near my bait. Nothing is. It's kind of remarkable, really. I mean, even those little perch or scavengers, you'd think they'd just be going bullshit for it. Apparently not. It's kind of nice when the scenery is reflective. Oh, what the heck. I don't want to put a weight on to get it out there any further, because it's a pretty light line. If I get it out there further, I'm afraid I'm going to get into the northerns. I kind of just want to perch to play with it, just to see what's up. See if I can get something kind of action going. I don't want to deal with the northerns right now. Well, so far, being I changed the battery, I haven't had much camera issue. In fact, I have zero. It's been running the whole time, so maybe the battery was getting low, but the indicator wasn't telling me it. Because, yeah, it was definitely acting up. Unlike the fish around here, they're not acting up at all. Tips of my fingers are getting cold. starting to cool off pretty quickly. Okay then. Yeah, there's quite a bit of bug hatch now, especially along the swamp edge over there where I was parked earlier. In fact, if you were sitting in the driver's side of my van right now, they'd be all over that side of the van because of the sun reflecting off of it. Quite a few different bug hatches out now. Whether or not they make it overnight, I don't know. It gets pretty cold at night now, still. High 20s, low 30s. Well, the only interesting thing about this video so far is the conversation with the passers-by. Because we sure as hell aren't catching any fish. What's going on with my... There it goes. Yeah, that's what happens when your bait is so light compared to the weight of the bobber. When you cast, the bobber goes way ahead, and the bait will just kind of drop wherever the bobber lands, and it may be crossed over. Or that one was perfect. The bait landed way off to the left, so it'll sink on its own, but sometimes it'll be behind it and then land on top of the line, and it'll hang up. Most times it does not do that. Most times it goes just like it's supposed to. You know, and I got these little trout magnets in the mail. I can't even believe I'm saying this, but the first thing I thought of was being a kid. And the first time I put a maggot on a small hook and was fishing ponds and golf courses. It was just, I almost couldn't put it on the hook, and I was just like, oh, I was a really young kid. And I was like, oh, I don't know, it's going to bite me, that whole thing, and da-da-da. And once I did it and started catching trout, that was the thing. Nobody used anything else. I actually have some artificials. I should probably try them. A lot of traffic on this road tonight. They may be just checking out and see if people are fishing yet, because a lot of local people around here do exactly what I'm doing in the evenings. Just check it out. Oh, these guys have been back and forth a couple times. They're the ones that hollered at me, said something when they went the other way. Yep, seen them a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I remember doing that. There was a couple kids riding in the back of that pickup. I don't like to show vehicles on camera. But, yeah, I remember doing that. My dad had an old flat seat out of a pickup truck out of an old Chevy he put in the back of a Ford. We sat on that. when I was a kid and riding in the back of pickup trucks, there was still oh, almost ate one of those bugs. There was still, trucks around from the 50s and 60s, some even from the 40s. But they were more show. Even in my time, the 1940s was a show truck. Sorry for the mic noise. There was 53s, Fords, and 57 Chevy pickups. That they were all over when I was a kid. They really didn't start rusting out until, late 80s. When they started putting all that crap on the roads. And then they went quick. All cars did. Yeah, back in my day, when you were a teenager, when you go to buy a used car, it was actually kind of nice because it wasn't so much you were worried about the rust, although there was some, don't get me wrong. It was all about the dents. You didn't want to drive to school in your, brand new first car with just dented to shit. Rust you could hide quick. Dents, that took a minute. You had to really know what you're doing to get rid of dents. And it took longer. Rust, you can pretty much take care of the fender wells on a weekend. Get away with that. There wasn't a whole lot of rust back in my day. My first car was a 67 Chevelle. The straight six. 302, I think it was, yeah. 302, 308, what was it? Something like that. That was my first car, and it was prime. There was no dents, no rust. It was a granny car. Bought it from a friend of mine. We both worked at the supermarket, packing groceries. Probably making 60, 65 bucks a week. And he was getting a new car, just getting out of high school. His dad was going to get him a new car. So he sold me his for 50 bucks. I made sure I didn't charge any food or anything at the supermarket that whole week, just so I knew I'd get a full check. And I barely had enough to put gas in it to cruise around for that weekend. And that was cool. That was the first one. I remember that car. I'll always remember that car. A lot of things happened in that car. Yes, including that, but I mean, just things I did, places I went. I even had me one of them AMC Gremlins. That might have been actually my favorite car growing up back home. I've had, actually, I don't know, I had a 351 Cleveland and a Torino that was pretty freaking sweet too. That was really nice. I bought that car for $300. That was a sweet car. That was right at the time I had my Harley. So at least I had, I rode the Harley most of the time. But when it rained, it was nice to have that 351. It was a plush car, man. That thing was so nice to drive. Yeah, I had a few cars growing up. Just come across some good deals. Had a halfway decent job working in a factory as a kid, right out of high school. So, it was pretty easy to make enough money to buy a car, save for a week or two, Within a month you could own a car if you had a decent job, a well enough paying job. Things were a little different back in the 70s and 80s. You know, it was 35 cents for a loaf of bread, not $4.98. And a loaf of bread, even me, my brother, my dad, and my mom, and my little stepbrother, all of us, a loaf of bread would last more than the breads nowadays. It would last longer, you know what I mean? Yeah, just crazy. The loaves got smaller and the prices got bigger. We'd get in trouble for cramming the loaf of bread in the bread box because it wouldn't fit. Now you can fit two. That bird's over there laughing. He knows it's true. Oh, this is crazy. I mean, I can't even believe a little perch or anything is not hitting this. We might have to call it a day. I don't know. The only thing I haven't really tried was moving it quickly. That makes a lot of noise and movement though. What the heck? Well, it's a good thing I don't have to rely on eating fish tonight. I'd be starving. I'd be here all goddamn night, that's what I'd be. Well, let's not give up yet. Hey, it's early. The sun's still got, oh, I don't know, at least a half an hour to go. Whoop. Something surfaced just as my bait hit, and I thought my bait came off, and I remembered it couldn't. I thought about putting little crappie bites on, though, just for some scent, but I don't know. Dang. That's some kind of a duck or something over there. Getting excited. I suppose it's that time of year for all birds. Come here, big boy. It's sure not looking good, is it? I mean, we got that thing 10 feet in front of us now. Well, maybe someday that good old boy will say, go ahead and park on my land, walk up and down there sometime if you want. The more and more you talk to people, the more they get to trust you. That's the second time I've talked to the guy that owns that land over there. And I never once indicated that I would love to be on it, you know. Yeah, you guys got it pretty lucky over there. I bet you catch the big ones. And I don't do any of that. That's not what meet and greet is all about. That shows you only want to get to know them for one reason. Boy, it sure would be nice to see that thing go under the water. Just even a little thicker. That would give me hopes that something is at least interested, or even swimming by. I don't know what happened to the perch. I haven't seen them swim by in quite a while. So maybe they do go out deeper or something, I don't know. Or tuck into the grass on the edges for the night where they know they're safe. Maybe. That might be why this guy said this spot right here is good for crappie, because they can catch all the perch before they go and tuck themselves in up into these grass edges. Look at that, I threw that right next to where that surfaced. That's crazy. We'll probably end up seeing deer on the way home. Well, we won't. I will. Because I could leave right now and see deer on the way home. But the later I stay, the more I'm going to see. Especially driving out. The way I go home, I actually go around this lake and come out right up next to that farm on the main road. And there's deer all over in there. And I mean all over in there. Nobody hunts there. It's all privately owned. That's why this lake is landlocked. This right here that I'm standing on, all the way down to where the guy we were talking to that owns that strip of land on the edge over there. This is the only open land. Everything else is landlocked. Which is unusual to have this much to fish. Very unusual. And easy access. You can park anywhere along this roadside and just get out and fish. Because even this stick stuff's not real hard to get a line over. But yeah, it's hard to find places like this, especially easy public access. Hardly any boats that use. Back home, you had to go on private land and ask permission to get on ponds this size because one person owned it. They owned the land that it was on. And most times they'd say, sure, go ahead, because it's such a big pond like this. They'd be like, you can't fish it out. And it was true. We go out there ice fishing, go right out in the middle, drop it, whatever, bait, right to the bottom. You know, when you're kids, you assume the middle of the lake's always the deepest. But yeah, catch big bass, all kinds of stuff. Use sucker minnows, big 6 and 8 inch sucker minnows. A lot of fun. We'll be doing that here. It won't be long. Once the northern pike season's open, we'll get some sucker minnows and do a drop shot rig. That'll be fun to catch a northern on that big old cranker. Oof, there's bugs flying around my face now. I guess we could walk up and down the shoreline here a little bit. We can do that. You never know. The breeze is cool. It's really cool. Cool on your hands. Let's go up along this edge of these cattails here. It's a little more in the sunshine. We'll sneak up here a little bit quiet. There's a lot less bottomweed here. It's a lot more sandy over here. In a matter of what did I move? 20 yards? Not even that. 15 yards? Heck, we might even see deer just walking by us here pretty quick. They bed in all this pine trees and stuff behind us and come walking right down this road. What's up, fish? Come on, man. Maybe I'm not deep. I'm hoping I'm deep enough, but ooh, that was pretty close. That line almost landed on top itself. Sure is pretty out there, ain't it? Man, oh man. Yep. Nice and quiet. There's a couple geese way out there, straight off that point. I guess I just don't want to leave because I just know that thing's just going to go pfft. And I can't believe it hasn't happened yet, even with a northern. This place is stacked with them. Everybody that knows this place knows it. I should be up here looking for little things like this. That's kind of crazy. I just don't believe, not even the perch, not even the little tiny perch are going after it. They're nowhere in sight. I mean, it's not like they're looking at it and not going after it. They're just nowhere in sight. But they're out there. I know they're out there. Oh, that was a good cast. Got a little bit of a back breeze on that one. What the hell was that? Did you guys hear that? It might have been actually a deer. And I spooked it because I don't see any big ripples. It might have been a deer getting a drink. Yeah, I don't see anything that made ripples in the water. Did you guys hear it? might have been a deer stepping down into the water, and I spooked it when I cast because it didn't see me. Oh, come on. Give me something, man. Woodpecker. He's happy. Let's go get some bugs, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to sit in the van and warm up for a while before I leave. Jeez, the temperature dropped quick. Oh, that was a deer. I just heard it blow. Just heard it blow. I do believe we are going to get skunked. We are playing it like we're fishing for nothing but crappie. And they ain't playing. We're doing it all right. We got invisible line, direct tide bait, slowly suspending. Just what they love. Bright ass colors. That's like crappie killer bait right there. I mean, come on. Don't. Where are you guys? Where are you guys at? Let's go. Hit that thing. Brr. Oh. Had the hiccups there for a second. I don't know what the hell. It won't be long. You'll be standing here and you'll be covered in DEET because the ticks will be all over you and the mosquitoes will be attacking you. Yeah. Once it warms up enough where the ground's not cold and the earth bugs can move, those ticks, man, they come out of somewhere I don't know. They come out of hell is where they come out of. And they work their way right up to the top of the surface. The ticks are so plentiful in Minnesota, you can go to a restaurant and get a tick on you because someone else brought it in there. That's how bad it is here. And I don't mean to say that to scare people. I like to warn people. A lot of people come here. I mean, it's quite a recreational state if you're into water sports. Let me tell you what. You come to Minnesota, there's a lot of lakes here. This is a puddle compared to the lakes that are here. Oof, I just got to chill. Oh, that was cool. I just saw that goose stretch her wings in the sun. That was cool. I do believe this is going to be the last reel in. It's getting cold. My fingertips are too cold. If I had to tie a line now, it would be impossible. Totally impossible.